Hey guys, so I just came back from watching Spider-Man Homecoming and I gotta say, it was a very good movie. I enjoyed the fact that it's not your typical Spider-Man movie, an origin story. It doesn't start off with he gets bit by the spider, you see him suffering the physical changes and all that. It goes straight into his story, his personality. Smart kid in school, he's really awkward, he's in that teenage stage. He acts exactly what I expected Spider-Man to be like given that he's a teenager. He's always in a joyful, curious, naive kind of personality. I also enjoyed how even though he was facing villains, it's like he had no idea how to do the job, you know? Like one of the characters in the movie actually tells him that, like, you're not very good at this, are you? You still haven't figured out the ins and outs of how to do your job, right? I also enjoyed the fact that unlike previous Spider-Man movies, yes, Spider-Man has a crush on a girl, but the plot is not about rescuing the girl every 5 minutes because the villains know that's his love interest and therefore they're going to use her and kidnap her to get him vulnerable or to do something. I think that gets really old and boring at some point, and I think that's one of the biggest flaws that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has, because I think Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is boring and he is just stupid. It's not even the funny kind of stupid, it's the I'm frustrated at how stupid you are stupid. But then this movie also, it was just fun. I was entertained every single second of it. And something that my boyfriend pointed out that he enjoyed, that I also enjoyed, was the fact that they show him actually getting to the places of the facts. Not by work of magic, not by some BS convenient to the plot mechanic. You would see him physically running or walking or parkouring his way to wherever he needed to save the day, and they would also show him messing up and he would make it seem funny because he's only 15 and his judgment is not that good. I also enjoyed the fact that the cast was pretty diverse, and I'm not trying to pull a race card here, it's just that I'm glad to see something different. We're all used to seeing Flash, being physically aggressive and all that. In this movie, he was still, a prick, but he was just picking on Peter verbally, not really physically, or attempting to be physically abusive too. And he looked totally unlike the previous movies, and I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the fact that Peter had a homie that was actually smart too. Like Harry Osborn needed a lot of academic help, unlike Peter. Peter had someone who he could actually be tight with and have something in common. But yeah, guys, the action, definitely great action sequences. I enjoyed the fact that they didn't overdo it with the slow motion like Wonder Woman. That's something that I had to say about Wonder Woman. I also think that the scene with the boat, it's like he thought he had it. Turns out he didn't have it. He just freaked out about the situation. So he tried to solve it. His bare arms tried to keep the boat together, but Tony has been tracking him. He knew he was in danger. So he showed up to the place of the facts and helped him push this boat other half together. I also liked how the pacing of it was good. Like you would see the villain in different stages. Just like in the preceding Spider-Man movies, it's like the villain is the father of someone who's dear to the protagonist. But at the same time, Peter would show signs of exhaustion. And I thought that was pretty neat because, you do get beat up, you're going to feel tired. And when he was climbing the monument, he was like, oh, this is actually a pretty long climb and I'm getting tired and this and that. And then the computer in the suit would tell him, you need more momentum to accomplish this. I loved his suit. It's pretty neat gadget. You can totally tell that's something that Tony Stark developed. And speaking of Tony Stark, I liked how he wasn't really saturating this movie. He has become the image for some things the Civil War movie, even though it was a Captain America movie, of course, it had to do with Tony, so Tony was in the spotlight a lot. And then just the other movies where Iron Man is in that is not really an Iron Man movie, but for some reason it ends up feeling like an Iron Man movie because the spotlight shines on him so much. Here, the few times that he appears, it's convenient for the plot, appropriate for the plot, and he had a reason to be there. He's not just being there for the sake of being there, having more time on screen and making a bigger paycheck. Additionally, I liked how Peter was struggling, with the being a superhero thing, and it actually reflected on him. Past Spider-Man movies, it's like, yeah, teachers would go up to him and be like, you always look tired and you always look, your grades are suffering and this and that. But here, it's like you saw his stress. He wasn't making it to the important things in his life that as a teenager you just attend to. Kept skipping out on dates and the field trip. He totally wasn't there for the moment of truth. And I also like that they won their little competition, whatever that was, without Peter, but Peter didn't get any credit for it. Like on other movies, I feel like even though the protagonist didn't do anything, the other characters want to give him the credit because it's like, oh, we wouldn't have done it if it weren't for your inspiration or motivation, blah blah blah. No, this movie is like, no, this girl nailed it, so she's gonna be our next captain. Overall, Spider-Man Homecoming is a very entertaining movie. I would definitely recommend it. It's one of the best movies I have seen this year for sure, if not the best I have seen. When it comes to superhero movies in general, I want to say this is one of the best ones I've seen. I'm not sure which one is my all-time favorite, but I think it would be Doctor Strange. Even though it had some parts where it slowed down for me. It's just more like sciencey looking, so even though Spider-Man is like robotics, but it's that aspect of science that I really don't care about. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you seen it yet? Do you plan on seeing it? Were you just looking for reviews to determine if you're going to see it or not? I say go see it. Some people have criticized this movie saying, oh, I didn't like it, it was boring because we don't get to see him getting bit by the spider, blah blah. We have only seen this like a couple times in the past on other movies. We totally needed another origin story, right? I just wish people would embrace something different. Great movie, not boring. Please go see it. Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in and I will see you soon.